I'm sure some of you can relate to the feeling of the internal critic or the voice inside your head that tells you to do better. Hi, my name is Samantha and welcome back to my channel. The internal critic is actually related to basically disguised as an internal parent. If any of you are familiar with parenting or reparenting, it's basically taking the values that you currently have and applying it to your life. So oftentimes the critic will actually disguise itself into something that is a negative when actually it is a positive. So I'm going to give an example. Most people can relate that the internal critic will bully you into being a better person or doing things that are better in order to protect you from something. So if you notice, the more times you listen to it, the more higher of a standards you have to be able to please this internal critic. So essentially, this internal critic can never be pleased. Now, where does this come from? Well, this is completely debatable, but in my opinion, the internal critic comes from basically the values that you have growing up that you have either had to apply to get your needs met, or you just wouldn't get your needs met at all. So typically we carry this internal critic into our adult lives and we try to please it, and it just keeps bigger and bigger. So this will also have to do with people that have a fear of they have like this fear or this they feel like nobody likes them, even though everyone can really do like them and they really appreciate them, but it's that internal critic that says, nobody likes you. I am very much I can totally relate to that. I think that it comes out as like a negative, it comes out as like a negative, jabbing in your ear, but it's actually trying to protect you from something. So instead of just saying, okay, you're right, actually sit down and talk to it and listen to it and ask it as if it were a real person. Why does nobody like me? And it will typically give things off to you that were not accepted growing up. So typically a personal experience, if I typically have that thought, I usually will talk to it and say, why doesn't anybody like me? And it will usually say something along the like, you're in the way, or you talk too much, or you're taking up too much space. Things like that. So instead of saying, oh, okay, I won't take as much space up, I'll say, well, why is that a problem? So because I feel like everybody deserves to have a place in this world and have an opinion and a voice. So typically this would be considered one of my shadows, is that I never felt like I had a voice. So essentially this will very much help when in reparenting yourself, or maybe you grew up with guardians or several guardians that taught you values that you didn't really agree with. So this internal parent or this internal critic really has something important to say, and it really does love you. It's just coming out in a way that it has learned to communicate with you. Maybe you grew up with someone that was really bullying, or someone that was very harsh on you, and in order to get your needs met, you had to kind of adapt to this type of environment. So this internal critic was like, okay, I'll just become, this person. So instead of just saying, no, following into what you want, what this internal critic wants you to do, just ask it and say, hey, I want to know why you think this about me, or what is that you're trying to protect me from, and it will usually lead to a value that you don't necessarily agree with, and you have the choice today as an adult and as an independent person to say yes or no and use your free will. So internal critic is your friend if you listen to it and able to integrate it and talk to it. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for being with me on today, and I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.